All right, the next guy on this list is one who didn't make the front picture in terms of the thumbnail for this video. I thought the other five, were better suited to be included in that picture, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention him. It's Boye Mafe from the Seattle Seahawks. The film is just too impressive not to show. I understand, like Travon Walker, Aidan Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibeduaex got all the press. They should, right? Rightfully so. Even George Karlaftis. They're incredible players. They were at premier programs. Look, Boye Mafe went 2 picks after Arnold Ebiketie at number 40 to the Seahawks, who just had an incredible draft. They got Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant from the same draft. Boye Mafe, 6'4", 265. Played college football at Minnesota. I think he had like 7 or 8 sacks his last year there. Big physical. Right now in the NFL, he's a big physical, rugged run defender. He's a guy who can collapse gaps, make sure there's nothing on the inside, and then he's athletic enough to be able to make the tackle out when the running back bounces it. To me, this is a steal. And it's not a lot of people talking about it. He's made a lot of plays against the run so far. I think he only has 21 tackles for the year, 19 tackles for the year through 7 games, something like that. I recorded the video for this before Week 7 games, before their huge win here, Week 7. Look, he's a high-level run defender at 6'4", 265. He's athletic enough to avoid the cut block here by the fullback and then get involved in the tackle. Look at the first 2 plays I just showed you. The running back tries to bounce it. On the first one, he takes on the kick-out block and then makes the tackle when the running back bounces it. This one, they're trying to cut him. That's not accidental, guys. They're trying to cut him because they can't deal with him. He's a real man out there on the edge. Kind of reminds me of a Pernell McPhee type guy, except a little bit more athletic. He was playing about 20 snaps a game through weeks 1 through 3. And then that's kind of up to like 30 snaps. I think he played a little bit less in Week 7. Like I said, 6'4", 265. Against kick-out blocks, he's a real problem. Only has 1 sack and 2 quarterback hits. So right now, the impact for him is not against the pass. I have to admit that. But he's really good at run plays at him, run plays away from him. He's athletic enough and explosive enough to get involved in making the play. They're building something really good with that Seattle defense, if you ask me. To me, he's got, like I said, he's had a lot more impact against the run. He is dropping out in coverage multiple times. You can see him initially. He's lined up out here over twins, and then they're going to walk him down. Pass rush impact has been way less evident. But you get him folding inside here, making tackles. He gets involved in everything. He's a high motor guy. And the strength really catches your eyes when you watch a lot of plays. And the motor, his willingness to get involved with multiple plays. This is a high-level awareness play, man. The running back is trying to cross his face and get out to the flats. Now, he's a little bit protected to the boundary, but he's not protected because he doesn't have the nickel defender outside of him. Talked about that in the Ebiketie portion of this video as well. He's got kind of run action to him. The tackle's stepping to him. Tight end's working away, so it could be split zone. But the path of the running back does not indicate split zone. The running back is trying to cross his face. So he's catching a lot of the running back's chest and numbers when he's looking here, trying to figure. So he's got a little bit of awareness now. You can see him widen up. So he's got a little bit of awareness now in terms of the back's path. He's not going to let him cross his face. That's a pretty athletic play, if you ask me, for the tackle to be stepping to him and be able to get out there and make this tackle about 5 yards from the sideline. Keep the running back to a 3 or 4 yard gain. I think he's super athletic. And that play right there shows me that he's got a pretty high awareness level too. And then he plays on kickoffs. That's the thing that's shocking to me. Like 6'4", 265. Really good against the run. There'll be a couple plays, where I'll show you where he overcommits to the run. There'll be a play action boot here, and Andy Dalton's able to get outside of him. But he played on kickoff team, and he makes tackles. I've got him for 3 special teams tackles so far. There may be other ones because I don't have every single kickoff. Obviously, I'm missing the ones from Week 7. I didn't include any Week 7 video in this breakdown. I really like this pick, man. As a rookie, you're going to get opportunities to make plays, and you've got to make the plays that are at you. But this is a guy who appears to be able to make plays that are not his play to make. He's got motion coming at him that is not involved in his processing. You can see this safety right here starts to deal with the motion, right? So he's absolved of any responsibility with that motion. But again, look at his eyes. He's now got the running back trying to cross his face. No, he doesn't finish the play, but he's athletic enough to get out here, force the running back inside to where his help is so somebody else can clean it up. That tackle is made or his attempt to make the tackle is about 4 or 5 yards from the sideline. To me, that's elite level athleticism. Maybe not against the pass in terms of refined pass rush moves, but I really like this player. I'm not a Seahawks fan, but I really see the method in everything that they did in the draft to try to draft big, strong guys who can make plays that maybe they're not supposed to. They end up trying to blitz an inside linebacker here who gets washed down, creating a huge gap in here. Boye Mafe is over here dealing with a tight end. And, yeah, you may say, well, coach, this is a 7-yard gain. Well, yeah, well, what if he doesn't make this tackle? What if he's not involved with this? Then who does make the tackle? Maybe number 13, or maybe this is a touchdown. They've got the type of athletes on this defense, if you ask me, that are going to be able to force you as an offense to execute 10, 12, 13 play drives. Out here on the edge, this is, I think, his only sack, taking on the tackle. Somebody else flashes in front of Jimmy G's face on this play action. It's the other D end. So Jimmy G's trying to escape him, and then Boye Mafe, I think this counts as his only sack. The line of scrimmage is like the 11, and Jimmy G ends up close to it. So I couldn't find another play that looked like it would have been his sack, to be honest with you. Another view of the same play. If you're a Seahawks fan watching the video, let me know what your impressions are of Boye Mafe so far. Like, if I'm overstating his ability so far, I would be really excited if I was a Seahawks fan for all the rookies they drafted, but especially for this one, the motor and the burst. Now, granted, this is a very similar play to one that Arnold Ebiketie had. Look, this is a boot concept to Andy Dalton. All right, so he's booting out to the edge, and he is going to get the first down or get close to it. Boye Mafe has gathered himself too far inside here. He's gone too far down the line of scrimmage, trying to get inside this gap between the tight end and the right tackle. He's trying to get in the C gap and then run down the line of scrimmage and make the tackle on a play away from him. It's not a run play. Andy Dalton ends up keeping it. And then here's Boye Mafe trying to run him down. Now, you may say, well, coach, that's still a 7, 8-yard gain. I agree. But if Boye Mafe's not there, is it a 12 or 14-yard gain? It's not a house call because it's Andy Dalton, right? But he's a guy who, if you ask me, has the athleticism to try to make up for some of the, quote, rookie mistakes that he may have. Here he is down here on another kickoff against the Lions. Of course, this might have been the game of the year, right? 48-45. Crazy game. One of that I intend on looking at, in the offseason just to watch. So that's Boye Mafe right there involved with the tackle. We're going to pull this back. Hopefully that player is smooth when I'm doing a rewind function. So he's the 4. All right, so he's in his gap right now, and he's compressing this blocker to the inside. So there's nowhere for this guy to go. He's got to cut it back, and he ends up getting some yards. Watch Boye Mafe stay with the play. NFL football players give a high-level effort. But Boye Mafe seems to be a guy that gets involved in everything, whether it's to his side, whether it's away from his side. I'm a big fan of his, as you can tell. Seahawks, look, they stole this draft. They stole this draft from the whole league. They still have, I think, a first and a second from 2023, next year's draft, as part of the Russell Wilson trade. They're just set up to add pieces to the roster. Or possibly use those picks to upgrade immediately if the opportunity presents itself. Plays on kickoff, plays outside linebacker, D end. To me, he's even more underrated than Arnold Ebiketie. I'm not saying he's a better player than Ebiketie. I'd like both of them. I would like both of them to be on my team. But physically gifted and strength and the burst, they're just obvious. And I think that's why he's being used on kickoff team. Let me know what you think of Boye Mafe's film. I'm only showing like 10, 12, 14 plays from each player. Clearly, he's not the best edge defender in this rookie class so far, but his contribution to the Seahawks defense and special teams was something that I thought deserved mention.